Where do I begin with exercise? All right, welcome. You may want to grab a pen and a paper. I'm going to share with you a couple key things that you might want to write down because you might forget it. So a lot of times, it takes repetition, writing things down to really get inside of our heads. So today's topic is, where do I begin with exercise? So if you're thinking about, this whole exercise thing is seeming so overwhelming, where do I begin with exercise, right? So there's a couple things to consider. Number one is to have a clear, specific goal. Know exactly what it is you want to achieve. If you could, let's do a little exercise for you right now. So if you're taking notes, if you could wave a realistic magic wand and you could have your body, your health, and your energy any kind of way you wanted it to be over the next 6 to 12 months, what would that be like for you? Think about that. If you could have it any kind of way you wanted, then write it down, and the more detailed you can put into it, the better. The more specifics you can be, the better. I mean, just really lay it out. The details are very important. That's why if you were looking for coaching and you wanted to talk to me about your goals, the initial consultation is where I do a deep dive into your goals to find out exactly what it is you want to achieve, and I have ways of kind of probing in to really get you thinking even more about it. But for right now, just get clear as you can on what your goal is, if you could have it any kind of way you wanted, and then write it out. And then I encourage you to every day, even twice a day if you're open to it, say your goals out loud in the present tense like this. This is the framework. I am happy and grateful now that I am, and then state your goal. So I'm currently about 170 pounds. My goal was, I've been saying 190 pounds. I think I'd be even happy with 180. So I want to put on some quality muscles, right? So let's just say I'm going to go with 180 pounds. So I would say my goal every day in the present tense, I am happy and grateful now that I am 180 pounds, 6 to 7% body fat, feeling strong and healthy like a supple leopard. So I put that supple leopard in there because I read a book called The Supple Leopard, and that we want to move our bodies every day as a supple leopard, and that's my goal. To even as we get older, I started working out when I was 14. I'm 54 now, but when it's 60s, 70s, God willing, 80s and beyond, I want to be moving like a supple leopard. Man, look at that guy. He's moving like a supple leopard. So I think about that, though. I'm putting that in my mind, right? I'm putting that in my framework, and I'm thinking about it, and it hasn't happened yet. I'm thinking about the future result that I want in the present. So I'm saying, this is how we lay it out, and I'll do it one more time. I am happy and grateful now that I am, and then state your goal. So that's important. Have a clear, specific objective. Know your goal. Then you're going to back it up with the 5 fundamentals of fitness. If we were working together, if I was coaching you every week, we're getting on the phone and Zoom, I'd be coaching you on these 5 fundamentals. This is what I coach on. I mean, if you're taking notes, you may want to write them down to remind yourself of them later. Number 1 is training, proper training. We must have some kind of exercise, like the title of this video. What do we do? Where everybody's a little different, depending on if you feel like you are a total couch potato or versus someone that's more beginner or intermediate, even advanced. Each level is different. But I usually have the people that haven't done anything to just start walking. Just basically do some walking. And then you can even just warm up, do some stuff at home, like work on some push-ups if possible, some sit-ups, some body weight squats. I have some free home workouts. If you need some home workouts, you can message me. I'm happy to send them to you. Just want to get moving. We want to stimulate both your muscle system and your cardiovascular system. We want to do both ideally. Does that make sense? So we want to stimulate both muscles and cardiovascular. So do something. Where do you begin when exercising? Is start with something that stimulates your muscles and something that stimulates your cardiovascular system. That's a really good place to be. Imagine for a moment if we had a twin-engine airplane and we only had one engine working on the airplane. How efficient would that be? Wouldn't be as efficient, right? As if we have both engines going in the airplane, right? So that's the muscle strength and cardiovascular strength. So that's proper training. Number 2 is nutrition. Nutrition is huge, depending on your goals. If you're looking for weight loss, I'm a big fan of 2 big things: whole food, plant-based diet, also vegan, and then which is there's some subtle differences to those, but that's the general idea. And then also, if your goal was weight loss and improving your cholesterol numbers and diabetes numbers and all this kind of stuff, time restricted eating or intermittent fasting. Those are two things, and that's what I coach people on: is whole food, plant-based, vegan diet with backing that up with also time restricted eating or intermittent fasting. So those are a couple things just to think about. A couple documentaries to consider checking out on your own if you're looking to do some research on your own. Number one is The Game Changers, THE Game Changers. It's on Netflix and YouTube. Number two, Forks Over Knives, also on YouTube and Netflix. Forks, like forks over knives. And then also, too, there's a new documentary. It's on Netflix by Plant-Based News called Vegan 2022. It talks about, there's basically, if you haven't dug into it, I encourage you to at least look into what goes into the making of certain foods, right? So being whole food, plant-based, vegan is mainly, we're doing that for our health, but also there's a big violation of animal rights going on. We don't need to eat these animals anymore. It's just not necessary. This is going to be old school down the road. People are going to like, oh, are you still doing that? You know? So like that's in the past. That's in the past, man. Put that in the past, right? So let's just put that in the past and let's move forward with learning new stuff. Look it up on your own. It's all over the internet. So those are 3 documentaries to consider. But consider it for your health. Consider that if you are an animal person at all, you want what's best for the animals. So we want to support them. And then number 3 is the environment. There's a lot of environmental things that go on that's destroying our planet. And just if you just dug into it a little bit, you'd find out. If you watch those 3 documentaries, you will learn a lot. And then plus 2, if you want to work one-on-one together, I'm going to just be teaching this to you every week. So with that in mind, if you're interested in a complimentary Zoom or phone call consultation, just message me the word FIT, F-I-T, to my phone number, which is going to be inside the description of this video, 520-400-9573, and then we'll set it up. We'll get together. So that's nutrition. Number 3 is recovery. Consider sleeping approximately 7.5 to 9 hours sleep a night. I've had the privilege and honor of training 3 different neurologists over the last 5 years, and they all say that their research around sleep and brain studies suggests that we all need, it doesn't matter, you know, some people say, oh, I only need this, I only need that much. But 7.5 to 9, that's the guideline, that's what I'm going by. 7.5 to 9 hours sleep a night for optimal recovery, brain recovery, body recovery. It's very important, right? Number 4, supplementation. I basically break supplements into 2 different categories: nutritional supplements and enhancement performance supplements. Nutritional supplements are supplements like a protein shake that's going to fill in your gaps in the middle of your day. And then there are enhancement performance supplements like creatine that can enhance strength building if that's what you're into. Last but not least is the mindset. So let's review. So we talked about training. Where do we begin with exercise? Number 1, set a goal. Be clear and specific. Reach out to me for a complimentary consultation if you feel called to do that. If you feel that calling, just do it right now. Take action. Text me right now. It doesn't matter what time of day it is, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. You can text that number, FIT, and I will get back to you within 24 hours. So let's review. Clear, specific goals. Number 1 is, and then back it up with the 5 fundamentals of fitness: training, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, and mindset. With that mindset, now when you have that goal clear and specific and set up, then just every day you want to just reprogram your mind. Say your goals every day in the present tense. It's kind of like, and I'll leave you with this, it's like when you're in the ocean and you're trying to swim through the ocean, and you know that riptide that's underneath the ocean is kind of pulling you back, where you're striving to get towards your goals, you're swimming towards your goal, and you have this undercurrent just pulling you back as you're striving. That's why every day through coaching and repetitious with the goal setting, you're rewriting like a computer. You're just rewriting what it is that you really, really want for your health and fitness. I hope that makes sense. So where do I begin with exercise? I just gave you the tips. If you have any questions, please let me know. Appreciate your time and your energy. Where do I begin with exercise?